time.
I put myself in 7 of the scariest horror franchises ever made and ranked how fast you'd die in each one. From chainsaws to zombies to aliens with 2 mouths, we're finding out which franchise is survivable and which one's a death sentence. Let's go! Like, if you found yourself in one of these movies, how long do you think you'd last? Spoiler alert, some of these franchises are basically a death sentence, and your odds of survival are terrible. But hey, let's find out. First up, we've got Saw. If you don't know about this franchise, here's the deal. Jigsaw isn't just a killer, he's a twisted moralist. He captures you, throws you into his sick and twisted games, and gives you an impossible choice. Play his game, or die. Now, Saw is a lot more about mental and physical suffering than it is about raw gore. Jigsaw's traps are all designed around the idea of forcing people to confront their past sins and earn their survival. No escape, no luck, just tests to see if you can fight through the pain, the terror, and the fear of death itself. Example, let's take a classic, the reverse bear trap. You wake up with this contraption strapped to your head, and you have seconds to find a way to unlock it, or your jaw is literally going to be ripped off. The twist? To get the key, you need to stick your hand into a bucket of used syringes. You know, the ones with needles still in them. Yikes! Now, imagine doing that with the arm strength of a wet noodle and the pain tolerance of a baby squirrel. How screwed would you be? Let's be real. Unless you're a puzzle master, you're not getting out of here. Jigsaw's traps are brutal, intricate, and more about psychological breakdowns than simple violence. Some of the traps require you to cut off a body part or drown yourself. You're not just up against physical pain, you're battling your own mind. Survival tip? The only real chance you have is to try and be like Amanda, someone who gets through a trap by sheer determination and, let's face it, cheating the rules a little. If you can outsmart Jigsaw's game, or be extremely lucky, you might survive, but the odds? Terrible. All right, let's leave the traps behind and head to Texas for a real nightmare. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If you thought Saw was brutal, this one's about raw survival against one of the most iconic slasher villains, Leatherface. Picture this. You're driving through rural Texas. You take a wrong turn and suddenly you're at the mercy of a crazy family of cannibals. But Leatherface is the main attraction here. The dude doesn't care if you're an innocent bystander or a random traveler. If you're in his territory, you're his prey. How screwed would you be? Let's see. You're already in the middle of nowhere, and Leatherface is chasing you down with a chainsaw. At that point, your brain's not thinking strategy, it's thinking scream and panic. He's incredibly strong and terrifying, but his entire family is out there too. They're not your average weird country folk, they're cannibals who enjoy hunting down anyone who steps into their world. You're not just running from Leatherface, you're running from a whole group of dangerous people. And let's talk about survival for a second. If you even think of fighting Leatherface with your bare hands, think again. He's huge, strong, and he's got that chainsaw, a weapon that literally cuts through metal. Survival tip. You don't survive Leatherface by being brave, you survive by being quiet. If you find yourself in a creepy house in Texas, don't make a sound. Hide. Run if you can, but don't stand your ground, otherwise you're getting a chainsaw through your face. Now hold on, we're getting into some messed up territory with VHS. If you've never heard of this one, it's an anthology of found footage horror films, and each tape tells a different terrifying story. What makes it so dangerous is that you never know what you're walking into. One tape might have you running for your life from a monster, and the next could be a paranormal haunting, or even worse, a cult ready to sacrifice you. The scariest thing here is that you have zero control over what's happening. You're just along for the ride, hoping you don't get caught up in one of these horrific scenarios. How screwed would you be? You're completely at the mercy of whoever made the tape you're watching. The scariest part of VHS is that you're the unwitting participant in these crazy stories. If you're not the main character, you're probably just someone who happened to pick up the wrong VHS tape. Survival tip. In the world of VHS, the best survival tip is simple. Don't pick up a random VHS tape. Ever. Also, don't do anything that could make you the antagonist in someone's horror film. Keep your distance, stay quiet, and keep a low profile, or else you're getting dragged into something horrifying. Now we're heading into deep space with Alien. You're on a spaceship millions of miles from Earth, doing your job, and then, boom! All hell breaks loose when a hostile xenomorph bursts out of one of your crew members' chests. The xenomorph is a terrifying alien species that hunts humans like we're nothing more than prey. They're fast, deadly, and nearly impossible to kill. Their acid blood can melt through metal, and their hunting tactics are terrifyingly smart. The only thing they want? You. Dead. How screwed would you be? Let's face it. You're already dead. The xenomorph is relentless. It hunts using stealth and surprise, and there's no escape. Even if you've got a gun, it doesn't matter. The xenomorph has acid blood that can melt through just about anything. You're probably just going to end up as part of its reproductive cycle, which means you're not only dead, you're food. Survival tip. You can't survive an alien unless you're Ripley. Ripley is the ultimate survivor, and even she doesn't always make it out alive. If you somehow find yourself on a ship with a xenomorph, your best bet is to escape the ship before the xenomorph makes you its next meal. And if you're lucky, maybe you'll find a flamethrower. Next up, we've got the classic slasher villain, Michael Myers from Halloween. Unlike other killers, Michael doesn't have a complicated backstory or a motive. He's just pure, unrelenting evil. Michael isn't about fancy traps or getting in your head. He's all about stalking his victims and slowly making their lives a living hell before finally stabbing them to death. He's patient, stealthy, and terrifyingly efficient. How screwed would you be? The worst part about Michael Myers, he never stops. He's like a Terminator with a mask and a butcher knife, and once he's fixated on you, there's no running from him. He can show up in your house, your car, or your school, and you'll never know when or where he'll strike. Survival tip? Michael Myers is predictable, but that doesn't mean you can escape him. If you're ever confronted with him, don't try to fight back. Run, hide, and avoid confrontation at all costs. Don't assume he's dead because he never is. Let's wrap things up with Resident Evil. This franchise isn't just about zombies, it's about a whole world gone wrong. Umbrella Corporation has unleashed viruses that mutate animals and humans into grotesque creatures, and it's up to a ragtag team of survivors to stop them. But spoiler alert, things don't go as planned. How screwed would you be? You'd be so screwed. The zombies are bad enough, but you've also got mutated monsters that are far worse than anything you'll ever see in real life. Worse still, you can't trust anyone. Almost every person you meet is either infected, a part of Umbrella Corporation, or a clone. And you know how it goes in Resident Evil. If you're not careful, you'll get infected. Survival tip? You'll need weapons and knowledge. If you're unarmed and facing an army of infected zombies, you're done. But if you can find a safe house and gather a few survival tools, you might just make it. What's your favorite scary movie? That one line pretty much sums up the Scream franchise. But don't let Ghostface's cheesy opening fool you. This slasher series is deceptively dangerous. Unlike the supernatural killers on our list, Ghostface is just a person. A very angry, very stabby person, yes, but a human nonetheless. The real twist? Anyone can be Ghostface. Your friend, your crush, your roommate, maybe even the pizza guy. And that's what makes this franchise a total head trip. It's less about gore and more about paranoia. If you trust anyone, you die. If you answer the phone, you die. If you try to investigate something suspicious alone, you die. Badly. How screwed would you be? It really depends. If you follow horror movie logic, you might survive, but let's be real. Most of us would totally fall for Ghostface's traps. We'd hear a noise and go to check it out. We'd answer the phone and joke around. Boom, knife to the gut. Survival tip? Channel your inner Sidney Prescott. Be smart, trust no one, and don't split up. You have a better chance here than in, say, Alien, but only if you're sharp, literally and mentally. All right. We've gone through all 7 horror franchises. It's time to rank them from least to most screwed, based on survival odds, sheer horror, and how likely you are to become Monster Chow. Here's how things stack up. Number 7. Scream. Your odds here are actually not horrible. It's still scary, but you're not dealing with anything supernatural. It's just a psycho in a mask. If you've seen a horror movie before, you're already ahead. Number 6. Resident Evil. A full-on zombie apocalypse, plus mutant creatures, and a megacorporation gunning for you? Nope. Unless you're an elite special agent, survival is slim, but hey, at least there are guns. Number 5. Halloween. Michael Myers isn't just a man, he's a force. You might escape him, but you won't kill him. He doesn't run, but somehow always catches up. Your best bet? Move very far away from Haddonfield.
Billy's still having a party.
Number 4. Alien. This one tops the list because, well, you're in space. No backup, no police, just a sleek, acid-bleeding killing machine with a second mouth. You're not getting out of this one unless your name is Ripley. And even then, it's a maybe. Number 3. VHS. You never know what you're getting. A vampire girl, a cult, a haunted hotel. Some segments are survivable. Others, not a chance. The randomness is what makes this one so terrifying. Number 2. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Leatherface is brutal and fast, but if you stay away from backwoods Texas, you're golden. If you end up there by accident, yeah, you're toast. But at least there's an escape window. Number 1. Saw. The traps are brutal. You could wake up with your jaw wired to a bomb and only 60 seconds to solve a puzzle. It's not just about strength, it's about pain tolerance, guilt, and luck. Most people fail.
Be careful. There are cameras watching. And you must hide your identity. Make your choice.
So there you have it. If you ever find yourself magically transported into one of these franchises, good luck. Unless it's Scream, you're probably dead. Fast. Which horror franchise do you think you'd survive in the longest? And which one would you 100% nope out of? Let us know in the comments. We're ranking the most creative survival strategies in the next video. If you liked this video, hit that like button like it's a Ghostface mask. Subscribe for more wild rankings, crazy pop culture breakdowns, and all the weird stuff you secretly love. And remember, if your creepy old TV starts playing a VHS tape on its own, just walk away. See you in the next one. ranked these horror franchises by how screwed you'd be. And I still forgot to lock my door. I'm so dead, aren't I?
Fuck about movies.